look good.
You got a mirror right there in your camera. That's good.
Very good.
You can't talk about specific guys, but what is going on recently with you guys with offensive linemen, and kind of what do you feel like you're selling that people are really buying into?
Well, I think our coaches have done an excellent job. Coach Schlarman, all the assistant coaches have worked extremely hard to recruit the very best players we can. I'm not allowed to talk about anything specific, but in general, I think we've been fortunate to have some very good offensive linemen that we've been able to build strong relationships with. And again, I think it's a credit to our coaching staff and all the good things that are happening here.
How critical is it to build, when you're playing in the SEC, to have not just a serviceable, but a very good offensive line?
Well, I think, going back to me talking all the way back to year one, that I've talked about the importance of being strong on both sides of the line of scrimmage. It really all starts there all the time. You have to have great players across the board. I think we all know that. We're working on that, but you have to have a physical presence. If you don't, you really don't have a lot of big chances. And in particular, if you're getting dominated on one side or the other, like we have at times, just physically, as we're building this program, we're getting closer to it. Last year, we were certainly closer to it in the physical aspect, and as we move forward and as we recruit, I think it's imperative that we continue to get bigger. It's a big league.
How anxious do you get this time of year?
I get anxious. We were joking before we got on camera here that after each one of these events, it's kind of nice because it moves us one step closer to getting on the field. So, I enjoy this, but there comes a point when the talking season's got to end and we got to get out there on the field and get going.
What did you think about your buddy Steve's calling a press conference to tell people he's not old?
I didn't really hear too much about it. I caught a glimpse of it or whatnot, but you got to love Coach Spurrier. I know this. We play him the second game of the year, and I promise you, he'll be ready for the Wildcats, and so we'll go to work and get ready for them as well.
He says he's 55 in body and spirit. How old are you? What would you give him?
Well, I tell you, I would agree with him there. I played golf with him this summer, and to just give you one example, I hit a drive down the middle, pretty good drive off one. He's in a trap, he knocks it up, makes a routine par, and I think I made bogey or double bogey, so from the middle of the fairway down there. So the guy can still play. He's a great coach, so I have a lot of respect for Coach Spurrier.
Does the wildcat package ever come up when you guys are playing golf or anything like that?
No, we don't. No, when we're at those kind of environments, we're there to decompress. Not in the stadium. I really had nothing to do with the stadium. It's too much for me to be involved with. That's in good hands with all of our people. The football building, I had quite a bit to do with that. I had a team of people from my department that worked with me, and we worked with the architects throughout, the design phase for the new building, but not the stadium.
You touched on it up there. How much of a benefit is it to be able to take recruits through the stadium and sort of show them what's happening?
It's very important. It's just like I alluded to today at the luncheon, just all the great things that are happening on campus, from what everything Dr. Capilouto is doing with the campus, and then you put the stadium on top of that and our new building. It's all important. It's hard, and we talked about this through recruiting. First couple years of showing them pictures. This is what it's going to be. Yeah, that looks great. And then they go somewhere else and it's already done. And it's beautiful. So when it's done, I think it'll have a real positive effect.
Mark, you talked a little bit about there. What was the thought with bringing Maurice Clarett in, and what did you hope your guys got out of it?
Maurice, we just had an opportunity at an open date. He was going to be by. I've known Maurice. Coach Morrow knows him very well. I recruited him to the University of Miami when he went to Ohio State. Of course, played against him when he was at Ohio State, and I was at Miami in the national championship game. So we go way back. His father actually played at my high school. So I thought he had a good message. And there's a guy that is showing great humility coming back. He was on top, lost it all, and has come back and is being very successful in his life. And just the outside influences that were part of his demise. I think it's real important to hear that directly from individuals. Why was it so important to do what?
To go out and
Well, the proximity and my connections and relationships in Ohio, it just makes sense for us. I think the league gets a lot of exposure right now, so I think we're getting some, having some success initially, being in the SEC, being so far north, and so I think a big part of it's relationships, like it always is in recruiting, but I think a big part of it's proximity and all the great things that are happening in Kentucky.
A couple more, one or two. Anybody else? Everybody good?
Kyle, go ahead.
You've been really sort of more at ease, it feels like, at some of these things this summer. Is that an indication of, in some way, of how you feel about your team? That there's not anxiety about what you're going to put on the field?
I think somewhat. There's always that anxiety, that just what's next to do. It's never going to end. It's never ending. I believe briefly it's, somewhat more comfortable, but I think you know me well enough, you guys have covered me long enough that I'm much more comfortable on the field and ready to get with our guys and coach our guys, so that's what I enjoy doing. But this has been fun, and there's a lot of exciting things with the team, and yes, I think you definitely feel more confident, as you should, going into year 3 with the team.
Rob?
You've always seen what you like, the effort from that standpoint, Mark. What do you look for when they first take the field for that first practice?
I want to see us, have some poise and execute. So the effort's going to be there, like you said. I think the first practice, they're always geared up. We only have helmets on the first practice, so you can't get super physical or you're going to get guys injured. So really, we just got to continue. We got to execute. We've got to be a better football team. The broad strokes are there. Now we got to refine our skills and get more detailed and make plays when the games are on the line.
All right, folks, thank you very much.
Thanks, man.